James. This is an Australia side missing experience and quality through injury, but they do bring in two Centurions after the defeat to Scotland. Tamika Yallop will look to negate Lucy Bronze, and Sam Kerr will look to do what she does so well, score goals. Charlotte Grant, another of those Australia players without the name on the back of their shirt. As I said before, the teams there, today's match has been dedicated to the Alzheimer's Society, the FA's official charity partner, raising vital funds to provide support to those devastated by dementia. And today, three of the England players, three of the Australia players to represent the 1 in 3 born in the UK today who will develop dementia. That's 1 in 3 of us who could forget the name of our favourite player or football memory. One of those big memories was provided by Chloe Kelly last summer, and another last week against Brazil. A victory on penalties that extended Sarina Wiegman's unbeaten run in charge to 30 matches. So Australia fresh off defeat to Scotland, but don't read too much into that. This is a side that does have quality in it that will look to test England tonight, even with some big names missing. And the players take the knee, both sides taking the knee. The stand continues against all forms of discrimination. Well, away we go. If all goes to plan, England will meet Australia in the World Cup last 16. And the Matildas gave Great Britain a big problem in the last Olympics. But what about now facing this England side? And the ball immediately out to Rasso, who's a quick presence down that side, looking up with Carter, Carpenter. Looking for an early free kick, but that's Jess Carter, Hayley Rasso, one of the many one-on-one battles we're looking forward to tonight. Emma, what sort of challenge will Australia pose this England side?
I think they'll be more direct than Brazil. I think the way they're lining up, it's in a 4-4-2. So Fowler in particular will come into the position Caitlin Ford's been playing in. And Australia will be very direct, going after the spaces behind England's fullbacks.
Tamika Yallop on that left-hand side for Australia, up against Lucy Bronze. Yallop, an experienced member of this Australian side that is missing a lot of experience. Here's Claire Hunt, who made her debut earlier this year. Carpenter, one of the star players in the Australia side. And Ellie Carpenter, a top fullback, one of the best in the world in that position, who was out for nearly a year with a knee injury, a common occurrence in the women's game.
Well, you wouldn't tell. I mean, she's come back in. She's already made a fantastic start for club. And now back in the national team. She'll be looking to bomb on that right-hand side with Rasso. And they'll provide the double width for Australia. So it'll be an interesting battle between those two and Hemp and Carter.
And here is Bronze, who was the starter in the Lyon team at right back when Carpenter joined Lyon. There's May Morgan, the left side centre-back pairing. Manchester City centre-half to her club teammates. There's a few Manchester City players in the Australia side as well. Here's Stanway. Toon looking for a free kick. She's not going to get it. Hunt to Cooney Cross, midfielder. Has made that position her own. And back to Arnold. Carter Carter getting in tight there quickly. Here's Walsh. What sort of space will she get tonight after Brazil try to close that avenue?
I think for Walsh, you can see already she's looking to come a little lower, sometimes away from the two central strikers.
Carter. And on goes Hemp, and the ball in, and prodded towards goal by Russo. First combination down that left-hand side.
Well, the first part of play with Walsh coming out into that false fullback position, allowing Carter to bomb on. It's a good first-time ball into the box from Hemp. Russo looks so alert.
Here's Arnold again, one of the significant WSL presence in this Australia side, even with the absentees as well. England applying the press. Jalop won't reach that. Chasing for that ball. Katrina Gorry there in the midfield. Scored a stunning goal. The competition Australia won just before they lost to Scotland, actually. Invitational tournament held at home. Jamaica, Czech Republic and Spain. Fowler looking long to Kerr, and that might happen on a few occasions. How much support will Kerr get tonight? Jalop. Here is Fowler. To look out to. He plays it short to Cooney Cross. Pressure from Toon, but Cooney Cross, good break and strong play, getting out to Russo. Looking to use the overlap, but Hemp is back there, sporting that protective mask after a blow to the face against Brazil.
Well, really patient play from Australia. Surprised a little by their start. They're looking to build. And already Gorry and Cooney Cross involved in the play, switching the play early, especially out on the right-hand side.
It's England looking to be patient now after that little burst from the Australians. Ball out to Hemp, and Hemp now on to Toon. Toon applying the pressure there to Hunt. Cooney Cross showing some confidence already. England winning it back. Hemp trying to get in behind, just calmly done by Hunt and Russo away. They've always been a competitive side, say in the last 10-15 years or so, Australia. International level. Here's Walsh. To feed that ball forward, giving it away, and Fowler. You see straight away what Fowler was looking for.
As I mentioned beforehand, Ford and Kerr have really built up a prolific partnership, particularly this past 12 months, which I'd expect to be the starting two. But Fowler is a player developed more on the left-hand side, but comfortable inside.
That ball put straight out of play by Jess Carter. Some difficult moments in the second half. There is the Australia coach, Tony Gustafsson, who admitted really that his side is facing one of the best, if not the best side in the world, he believes. Gorry. It's intercepted by Williamson.
We can see the way England are playing. Both centre-backs are going to be given time and space on the ball. And that Australian midfield too, really narrow.
Russo looking for the run of Kelly. He's quite able to link up there. It's a wet night. The rain is at its strongest.
And that's what Russo will be looking to do against a two-player midfield. Look to pop off the shoulders of the two centre-backs and look to pick the ball up as the 9.
Here's Kerr. And Grant. They will quickly close down there on that side. Fall back, another of the younger players in this Australia side. They've got a fair few players who play in Scandinavia actually as well, Australia. Most of their squad plays in the Northern Hemisphere. Here's Russo. Russo tried to get that ball forward towards Kerr. And then the flag goes up. I touched on it before. Australia caused Great Britain a huge problem in the Olympics.
Well, especially if Gorry and Rasso are in this form. It's a lovely turn from Rasso on the inside. Kerr just takes off a little too early.
And unlike the match against Brazil, no VAR, no goal line technology tonight. Here's Bronze. Williamson. Morgan. Losing the ball. And England might be a little bit short here with Gorry. Moving it wide to Rasso. Kerr on the move in the middle and Carter in the way. Rasso looking bright. Pacey player on that right-hand side, the Manchester City player. Mary Fowler, another of the City players in this Australia lineup. Grant linking up, and they've started confidently here, the Australians. Carter, Gorry. Carpenter. And then just gets away from Mary Fowler, who along with Kerr scored in that match in Tokyo.
As you mentioned, very strong start from Australia. Gorry in particular in the middle of the park. Player I really admire. Looking to control the game for Australia. And they've confidently built out from the back. Something I wasn't necessarily expecting against this aggressive high press.
Is Gorry one of those experienced heads? Mentioned the players missing for Australia. Caitlin Ford, the principal one, having an excellent season for Arsenal in the WSL. Club teammate Steph Catley also unavailable. Alana Kennedy, the Manchester City defender, to pull out through injury. And Kia Simon, who wasn't expected to be in the squad. Loose pass from Keira Walsh, and Morgan couldn't get there, and here's Rasso with time. Rasso, shot blocked, and England get away with it. And of all the people to give it away for England.
Well, it's Australia's compact defending which is causing the problem. Australia really narrow in this 4-4-2, and there's not a lot of spaces between the lines. So any square ball will result in a turnover, much like the one we've just seen. It's a fantastic opportunity for Rasso.
Morgan pumping that long towards Hemp, and Carpenter across. To believe it was Keira Walsh who gave it away.
That's the square ball I'm talking about. Can't find the central pass. And really good play from Rasso. I think initially makes the right decision to delay. I think she had to look for something else once she'd delayed.
So a few things for Sarina Wiegman to note for this start for England. Walsh. 2 complete passes from Keira Walsh in the space of a minute. And then Hunt slipping in the clearance. Rain very heavy indeed. Bronze did well. What can England do here with Stanway? You see the conditions already causing a bit of an issue. And Russo. Bronze to try and switch that ball across to where Kelly is now on the left-hand side. Here's Chloe Kelly into Toon. Walsh. And looking for their passing fluency. These early stages. Morgan. And Russo's touch was heavy. Australia look the more composed of the two sides so far.
Well, they do. England look sluggish in and out of possession. You can see not pressing the way perhaps we'd have expected from them.
That's lost by Grant. Ball played out to her by Arnold. Here's Walsh. Hemp. Hemp going on, and almost pulling it back successfully for Russo. And Bronze. Here's Hemp again. Stanway. Hemp. Australia felt there was a foul there. Referee not interested. And Hemp crosses it in, and Arnold claims. Does very well.
Certainly the best passage of play from England. Good combination play down that right-hand side. And Arnold having once again a solid season.
West Ham United. As Rasso collects, but loses out. Good pressure from England. Stanway, Russo. Kelly won't get to that, but it will be a corner. Recovery from Carpenter.
That's a bit more like it from England in terms of their pressure regains. Long ball into Rasso, turn over, and you could see 4 or 5 England bodies ready to pounce.
Stanway to take this corner for England. Starting to get going.
And get a chance to see what England look like without Bright and Daly from set pieces.
They go short. And work to Walsh. And Walsh now will play it in. This is awkward for Arnold, but did very well, the goalkeeper. And maybe a counter here for Australia. There's an England player down, and the referee will call it back because of a head injury, although Australia wanted to break there.
That's another great break from Cooney Cross. I've been so impressed every time I watch this player. He's come in, taking a place in the Australia team. Here's the ball into the box. It's authoritative from Arnold. Just catches Russo.
Well, the referee tonight from the United States, Natalie Simon, overseeing this one. American officials for this one. But who will be considered the favourites for the World Cup? Is it the US or is it England? Big question.
With Mallory Swanson unavailable, I think US are going to have to find some other options. But what I have seen in these two games, Brazil and Australia, two very well organised teams out of possession. Very compact, making it difficult for England to settle. And of course, you're going to have to concede possession somewhere. Australia happy to block up the centre of the pitch, but play with double width so they don't allow England to get on top in the wide areas.
Russo back on the pitch. Gorry, look at that for a little ball in towards Fowler, but Kelly is there for England. When Walsh, again pressured. Something England really have to get used to. And I mentioned USA being favourites, but Tony Gustafsson, former assistant to Jill Ellis, the former US manager, won 2 World Cups. Cooney Cross almost losing the ball. There's Cooney Cross again. Looking towards Kerr. Already this Australia side, even though they are missing those players, they're a team that seems comfortable in their shape and personnel.
I think they've found the shape that works for them. As you mentioned, there's been a lot of experimentation in the past 12 months. There's had to be a development of younger players.
By the way, if you wanted a visual indication of the conditions, just having a dry down, Tony Gustafsson. Here's Walsh. Williamson. And Bronze very far forward, as we're used to seeing her in an England shirt over so many years. Gorry, this could be awkward. And to get there. Horn in the way for Australia. Here's Grant. Bit of room to run into, and Hemp tracking her back. Hemp just getting enough of a foot in as well. And the winger forced to do the defensive work with Bronze up the pitch.
Certainly a fearless start from Australia, taking the game to England They lack the quality so far in the final third. I think been very balanced in the way they've set out.
As we've said so many times under this brilliant run under Sarina Wiegman, we don't mind seeing them tested too much in sort of situations, especially in friendly matches like this. Carter, Toon. Also a test for Australia, the co-hosts of the upcoming World Cup. Bronze. Williamson looking for Stanway. That's asking a lot, really, the midfielder. But she makes the most of it. Stanway, brilliant work. Will Russo be able to turn? Important challenge in there from Polkinghorne. Had to get that right.
She absolutely had to get that right. You see direct play from Williamson in behind the space of Grant because they can't access Stanway inside. I think we might see some longer balls to help stretch Australia out.
Here's Morgan getting it out to Kelly. Kelly feeling the presence of Rasso, and that was enough for England to lose the ball. And here's Sam Kerr. You don't want her on the ball if you're England. Kerr getting it across, almost broke to Fowler, and England able to clear.
Again, everything on the counter from Australia. Good organisation once again, and England unable to play the ball beyond the Australian midfield line. Any short pass, you can see all of Australia's front line really quick, especially on the back pressing.
And you feel for whoever's up against Carpenter on that side. She's had a strong start. Hemp already switching with Kelly. Play from Carter.
I mentioned before, it's just such a confident start from Australia. Don't fear England.
Yeah, don't, as I said before, don't read too much into that defeat against Scotland. I say they were on a very strong run before then, the Australians, including a victory over Spain. They'll play France in a warm-up match ahead of the World Cup as well in Australia.
I think there's no question when they've got everybody fully fit at home, they will be a very difficult team to play against.
And say it again, if England do top their group, which they're expected to do, they could very well meet Australia in the round of 16. What is a very, or could be a very tough path if England want to reach the final. Germany and France on that side of the draw as well. Not to look too far ahead. Here's Hemp, and Hemp turns on the afterburners and keeps it in play as well. Stanway. Morgan now looking for that pass forward. Plays it to Williamson. Here's Hemp again. Keep Australia guessing. Bronze. England really able to get Toon into the game too much so far. And then into nothing. And it is an England throw. Australia not too happy with that decision. I don't think Sarina Wiegman will be too happy with England's start so far, but
you can see Leah Williamson, the playmaker for England. There's no outfield player that plays longer balls more than Leah Williamson in this team. She could be vital tonight.
To get England going, Polkinghorne, such a the record caps clearest maker for Australia in the way again there. So corner kick for England. Opposite side to their last one. Plays it short, will look to get it back, and across it goes, sharp. Stanway, little scoop ball over the top, almost worked for England.
Well, I can understand why England are working on their short ball routine. They're looking to pull out that Australian defensive line.
It's a very brave play from Gorry to try and get that pass out to Carpenter. Carter. That ball off Carpenter.
It's sloppy from England. So many loose passes. Yes, the pitch doesn't help.
Yes, here's Hemp. Flash rain, as you might call it.
I mean, the pitch is perfect. I mean, the weather. I think one thing I'd like to see a little more of from England is some of Williamson's longer range switches. Such a narrow pitch. I think it's been too easy for Australia to defend. That's one thing Leah can do for this side. I think with no Greenwood, no Bright, they don't have players other than Williamson from the deepest spaces that can switch the play.
Well, there might be a problem here for Lauren Hemp. As I mentioned before, she took a blow to the face against Brazil, and that's why she's got the protective mask. And she may not be able to continue here. Just an early shout not confirmed as yet. She's getting checked. And of course, Alex Greenwood had to leave the camp. Sort of concussion issue after the game, unable to be part of this. And still being looked at the moment, Lauren Hemp. And Lauren James warming up. And it looks like Lauren James is going to have to come on here. Lauren Hemp will be coming back on the pitch. And if in doubt, always the right thing to do.
That's such a shame. Just coming into the game down this right-hand side.
So England keeping the ball for now until Lauren James is ready. She is stripped and ready to come on. So when that ball goes out of play, England will be able to make their change. And this is the way, unfortunate for Lauren Hemp, the health comes first. Here's Walsh. Carter. And Kelly. In a bit of an awkward position here, being a player light. Here's Stanway. Now Russo. Walsh. And Carter. Australia holding their shape. Toon. What do you do if you're England in this sort of position? They want to get their player on.
We'll have to keep playing. We've got control of the game. They've got control of the ball.
Williamson. And Bronze. Looks like they're caught in two minds at the moment. Here's Morgan. And Walsh, who had a quick glance to the bench. Yes, Lauren James is ready. Not looking particularly warm, has to be said. Williamson, and that's for Russo to chase, and then trips, a free kick to England. The perfect result, really, perfect chance to get the substitution on. And here comes Lauren James.
Well, sluggish performance, I think, from England so far. Know that James will bring that developing relationship with Bronze on the right-hand side. Grant, I think, been comfortable so far.
Well, popular player, Lauren James. Player that so many supporters love to watch play football. How she's going to fit into this England system in the long term, we will see. But she's on now in place of Lauren Hemp. They need to spark this game into life for England. Good start from Australia. Stanway to take. Played in by Stanway, and Arnold. Good distance on that. Walsh. skewed in helping that ball back in. Walsh again. Cross once more, trying to win it back. There's Carter. Scrappy in there. England trying to get control. And Carter doing well to keep the ball. It's all a bit tight for England, and they'll do well to emerge from this, and they do.
That certainly woke the crowd up. Nice little battle on the far side. Carter scrapping away into a free kick.
Kelly. Drop of the shoulder, whips a ball in that was dangerous. And just enough from Carpenter.
I think that's the first time we've seen a cross in open play. Like I said, I think it's been too comfortable for Australia. Ball's been kept in front of them most of the time. And because they're so compact between their lines, been difficult for England to break their midfield down.
An England side that averages 4 goals a game in the Sarina Wiegman era, although a lot of that is due to those thumping wins over the likes of Luxembourg and Latvia. Kelly. Usually helps your goal average if you win a game 20-0. It's Williamson. Stanway. Williamson again, feeding that ball into Russo, who's on the turn. And here's Kelly. Showing her usual sharpness. Russo! Almost. Almost.
Well, certainly think Russo's been one player that has impressed with limited service. Whenever it has broke the midfield line, she's linked really well. Gets into a great position. Difficult technique, but confident from her.
So it seems at the moment Russo is the preferred forward for Sarina Wiegman, which has only got one other recognised striker. And I say recognised, only recently recognised by Sarina Wiegman, and Rachel Daly. Here's Kerr. Feed that ball forward. Williamson in the right place.
I think when you're playing against teams like this, where they're a lot deeper, very compact, Russo's a perfect forward.
Here she is again to bring others into play. It's it to James, and James using Carter. Carter has to go here. That was intercepted by Hunt, read it well. This press from England. Difficult for Australia, but Bronze can't get to that. Cooney cross. And Kerr on the move, and Williamson looking over her shoulder. And there's Kerr! That's what she's all about! You give her a sniff and she'll take it. Australia in front, and their star striker with a goal. England caught out at the back. The captain caught out at the back. And Australia, with a strong start, have a reward for it.
Wow, it's just a lump upfield. But you can see Kerr with VAR might even been offside. Williamson looked in control initially, but just undercooks it with the header. And I knew the minute it fell short, I've seen this 1,000 times. She does it so well. It's easy to say it's an easy finish. Takes one little look at Mary Earps, lifts it over her. World-class finishing.
Goal 63 for her country. The quality of Kerr and the celebration of Gustafsson as well. You do not give her opportunities like that.
She's deadly.
And the funny thing is that Gustafsson rested her for the game against Scotland, and he was asked the question, would she play a part in this game? And he gave a wry smile, and then he said, she wants to play. She wants to play in this match. Against so many of the players she plays at against for club level. It's Bronze, and England have to respond here. It's not often they fall behind in games.
Oh, but sometimes a goal can wake the team up. Mentioned throughout this first half, I think England have looked sluggish both sides of the ball. But that's credit to Australia. They've not given England much space, and on this really narrow pitch, haven't seen enough switches of play from England.
Here's Morgan. James. Toon. Challenge was in quickly. They're looking good in this game, Australia. Just slipping on the turf, still getting the pass away, but here's Kelly. Can England take advantage here of a slip from Australia? Russo, and a big block in there to deny Stanway.
You see where the pitch played a major part in that, but Kerr slipping. Russo again, one of the most alive players for England. Cut back into Stanway. I haven't mentioned much about Ella Toon in this game.
Polkinghorne in the way again. And Ella Toon at the moment. Not seeing much of a look in this first half. Stanway clips it in there. And there's Bronze attacking in, and Arnold. Another strong punch, and the flag does go up. It's been assertive in that respect, Mackenzie Arnold.
I've seen it all year for West Ham. I think she's been a stellar player across the league. He's confident. Timing's good. You can see a clear offside. But as I mentioned before, it's such a struggle, I think, for England to go direct without Bright and Daly in that area. And it makes sense to experiment the short corner routines.
Well, so far, Australia are repelling everything that England throw at them. And they have a goal as well. Walsh, and there's Kern. Williamson. Here's Toon. Toon once more. Russo. It's Carpenter. Strong defending again from Carpenter.
Well, Russo again forcing Carpenter into a mistake. It's certainly the brightest spark for England.
But England still looking for a true spark in this game. Carter. And the standout moment, of course, in this match coming from Sam Kerr. Player, of course, you know so well, Emma, in charge of. And you, as you said, you're not surprised by what you've just seen from that goal.
No, not one little bit. That's what I've come to expect. But as far as England are concerned, they've got to clear up some of their untidy play. So many turnovers, so many poor moments, even just from throw-ins, giving the ball away far too cheaply.
Williamson looking to lead the response. And Walsh looking for a runner, picks out Bronze. And Bronze now will try and surge past Grant. But diligent in their defending again as Yallop back there.
Well, they're doubling down, Yallop, Grant on that side of the pitch. Haven't allowed Bronze to get inside or outside in the final third.
Bronze. Kelly. There's another big challenge going in here at the moment. Yallop again. Have hurt herself in the process, but the commitment, tenacity of this Australian side there to see. Here's Sundhage, the Brazil coach, noted how physical they thought England would be. But Australia have tried to match that, but it might be a bit too much here for Yallop, who's gone in strongly, and she's in a lot of pain here.
Can't see what happened. It's just got caught on her foot.
Well, a player here before she was formerly known as Tamika Butt, a player who's been on the scene for a long, long while for Australia.
Oh,
Important player in this side.
She's certainly done her work in front of Grant first half, but I do think it's been too easy. England taken far too long to get the ball into the wide spaces. The pocket spaces are not there for England, and they've got to start pulling Australia apart with quicker exchanges across the pitch.
Well, Jalop looks like she's not going to be able to continue here. This will be a real shame. And Courtney Vine, who's one of those who does play in Australia, looks like she's going to come on. A forward, a winger. They did start the game against Scotland. So Australia a player down, facing this England corner. England behind here. Stanway sends it in. Now Arnold catches that one. Safe pair of hands. And so far, there's been plenty of standout performances from Australia in this first half. From front to back.
There has. It's been a solid team performance. It's a lot of work for them, but as I've mentioned before, really tight pitch. And the way they've set out has been to be compact in that 4-4-2, allow England to have the ball in the deepest spaces, then look to counter.
Here's Fowler. Walkinghorn. Into Grant. Look at the run into the channel from Gorry as well, the midfielder. And then the touch was just heavy enough there for Charlotte Grant. And they can make that change. And Courtney Vine, who plays for Sydney FC, replaces Tamika Jalop, who's such a popular player in the camp. They call Meeks. Stanway. Well, this could be awkward. And Mary Earps hasn't had much to do except pick the ball out of the net. Still doesn't totally feel like England have found their rhythm in this first half. They have actually had 5 efforts on goal, but that's what the statistics say. I remember too many of them.
They're not playing with the same intensity we've come to expect to this team, from the deepest places to the highest spaces. Too many passes at times, not working Australia's wide players enough for me.
Here's Morgan. Urasso has come across to the left-hand side, and Vine to the right-hand side. Vine will offer a bit more going the other way for Australia. But right now, they're comfortable.
Well, the best way you have to look at it is Australia have 2 centre midfielders, England have 3, and England haven't made use of that advantage. Stanway, Tall and Toone have to stretch the 2 central midfielders.
Not seen too much of Toone in this first half. And here's Carter. Out to James to take on Carpenter. And you saw, well, you've seen Carpenter at close quarters, Emma. She's quite the opponent.
Outstanding player. I think in our Champions League game, she was exceptional, especially the second leg.
Lyon defeated by Chelsea on penalties. Bronze sending that ball in towards Russo's offside. Carpenter doesn't know that yet. Even under pressure, though, Australia on the ball have looked progressive.
Well, that's where I've been most surprised. I think they've been calm, composed in the deepest spaces. Really good, comfortable start, particularly for the 2 centre midfielders. And I think that's where England have to improve.
So what has to be remembered is, even though England are on this brilliant unbeaten run, there are nations around the world will be difficult to face come the World Cup. Ball goes out of play. James won't reach that. And of course, Sarina Wiegman, you can see she's not happy there. She has got a few sort of issues really defensively in trying to find that settle shape because of the injuries.
I think these are problems you want to have going into the World Cup. You don't want it to be too comfortable. She gets to see different players.
Here is Morgan. Carter. And Walsh. It's desperate to try and find a pass through there. Morgan again. Carter. Now James. Been able to get Lauren James on the ball closer to the Australia goal. And no foul, lost by Stanway and Gorry. And there's Kerr again and Williamson. That time England deal with it. Australia, right now, England maybe won't mind the half-time whistle. Vine, need to get away from Carter. She's just done just that. The Kerr waits again. Couldn't get it past Morgan. They do look pretty rattled.
It's the sloppiest 45 minutes I've seen from this England team for quite some time. That's perfect. Get to half-time. Sure, they'll reorganise and they will improve.
So we know England will look to their bench as well. Here's James. 6 substitutions permitted. Williamson, bronze.
But look how easy it is for Australia to shuffle across the pitch. Short, slow passes. Not having to come out and defend. Really easy for Australia.
Yes, so much credit has to go to this Australian performance in the first half, because at the moment they're stifling England. Here's James. She turned the tide, spotted the gap. James! Well, thought it might take one of those sort of moments.
Well, individual brilliance coming into a sea of bodies. She does well to ride the challenge. But it's on the outsides I'd like to see England go.
Yes, if you didn't see earlier, Lauren Hempt forced off with concussion. Sarina Wiegman. Those things will have to change for England to protect their unbeaten record.
That's going to set up a great second half.
Still a couple of minutes to play. Here's Morgan. England have found themselves in that sort of position a few occasions in the first half. But going direct there, and Arnold out and calm. And a sort of incident there that sums up the first half for Australia.
Certainly, cheeky bit of play from Arnold. She's pleased. Ball run out of the pitch.
Well, they played with confidence, played with composure, have looked organised, and took their chance when it came. He will be delighted. Here's Kelly. Only the last attack here for England. James chopping back and playing it to Toone. And Toone into Russo, but there's another challenge in there to disrupt the player. There's Fowler that time. And here's Vine. Francis having a go at Carter down that side. Carter. England have time for one more attack, maybe. Williamson. And Bronze. Returning is Stanway. Walsh. Kelly. Oh, that's an inviting ball. And Arnold, we thought that might be the moment she finally makes an error.
Wow, sat behind that. Kelly really caught that. Really well whipped in.
We've talked about tests for so long. England have one right now because Sam Kerr has scored the goal that separates the sides. A fine first half from Australia. What can England do to turn it around in the second half time? England 0, Australia 1.
How did they get around that, Ian?
They got past quicker. You know, of course you want Lauren James to get on the ball and beat people, but we need to pass quicker because they're not being moved out of their shape. Our 3 against their 2's not being... The extra man's not counting at the minute because we're not moving the ball quick enough.
I want to see more rotation as well from Ella Toone and Stanway. They need to help Keira Walsh in that midfield. It's a bit too predictable. Australia have managed to nullify Keira Walsh. We need to see a bit more rotation from that midfield to solve that problem that Australia have done very well in the first half.
I think the clips that we showed, they're very narrow, Australia. So where's the space on the outside? So we've got to use our wide plays more.
England trail 1-0 to Australia. Second half coming right up. Your commentary team for this second half. Let's hand you back over to Em Hayes and Seb Hutchinson.
No changes from either side. And only the third time that England have been behind under Sarina Wiegman. How will they recover from it? The previous 2 times saw them trailing to the Netherlands in a friendly last year and then to Spain in the Euros quarter-final. With a difference between those games and this one is that they were trailing at half-time, Emma. So what would Sarina have been saying to her players?
I think much like the guys downstairs said, they're going to have to move the ball quicker. But in order to move it quicker, players have to move into spaces earlier. They've got to get the ball into areas where they can hurt Australia, particularly use the wide areas.
And already looking for that switch across. Carpenter in the way, and Gorry running into Stanway. You can see out of possession how organised Australia are. The shape that the guys were talking about at half-time. It is stifling England. And James, and now Toone. And back to James, who should be able to turn, and does, and slips it through towards Russo. And Polkinghorne read the danger. Not for the first time in this game. Toone. And Carter. Here's Williamson. Bronze. Again, as an Australian. Shirt in the way, green and gold. Mary Fowler that time.
A much better start from England. You can see already they're skipping passes, looking to switch the pitch. Bronze coming back into bodies, little fortunate to get the free kick. But just the start England want.
The position and some way out. Wouldn't bother Georgia Stanway too much. Is she thinking about the shot here? Stanway standing over the ball. Having a long think about this one, England. Stanway to Kelly. And Australia saw the danger.
They had to, otherwise Kelly would have been in. Really good play from Gorry. Read the pass well. Just about gets a foot to it.
England take the corner. There's Polkinghorne again. The wall for Australia at the moment. But England with more urgency. That'll be it. Oh, the flag's gone up in any case.
I think one area England have become so strong under Wiegman is from corners and set pieces. They've struggled all night. First of all, the delivery has made it difficult, but Australia defended really well.
Ball played forward there by Australia. And here's Mary Fowler. See a few of the players at the moment without their names on the back of their shirts. If you missed the explanation before, well, today's match dedicated to the Alzheimer's Society, and 1 in 3 of the players on each team without the names on their shirt, to draw attention to the reality that 1 in 3 of us born in the UK today will develop dementia.
Well, particularly twice as many women will get dementia too.
It's a high number of people who won't remember so much personal to them. To make it linked to football, they forget the name of their favourite player or memory. Here's Vine. And England have a player down, but Australia looking dangerous. Time for Kerr. And she's prodded it wide. Almost too much time.
Well, first of all, Vine has come into the game and provided so much pace. Started on this left-hand side in the second half, running at the back line, perfectly weighted pass. I think once Kerr had turned back onto her left foot, or should have come back to her left foot, you could see she wasn't comfortable.
I heard Jess Carter say before the game that being a teammate of Sam Kerr means she knows 1 or 2 things about what she might do. I don't know about that with Sam Kerr. She always keeps defenders guessing. Even then. Fowler challenged by Stanway.
You can see Rasso come back over on this right-hand side, so we will see more of her and Carpenter this second half. Initially, I thought it was a good start for England, but Australia finding their stride.
Standing over this free kick, Cara Cooney-Cross, 21-year-old, who's caught the eye in this game. Caught the eye for Australia when she's played. One of those who plays in Sweden. Standout performance from her so far. What she produced here. Perfectly weighted ball. What a pass that was to Kerr. Just got it wrong in the end.
What a pass. Fantastic. Right foot outswing. Kerr just getting on the back shoulder of Lucy Bronze.
Another warning for England. Here's Kelly. This could be a fascinating second half, really. England defending this unbeaten record, but it's not to say Australia won't score again themselves, looking dangerous.
It's the challenge England need. We mentioned at half-time, England not really having the space centrally. Really need to get the likes of Toon and Stanway into the game.
Carpenter stealing a few yards. Kerr can occupy so many defenders. Carpenter. Even when she's on the shoulder of the defender when they got the ball, they look a bit worried. Here's Leah Williamson.
I think we all know England's got the quality to create chances. And it's quite a patient, sluggish performance in the first half, but England will improve and spaces will appear.
We keep talking about an unbeaten run ending. Remember how long it's been. That's testament to what they've been able to produce over the last couple of years. But losing that ball is Morgan and Fowler, and Vine takes it and tries to work it back again. They don't mess around though, Australia, too much, but they do win that ball back. And nicely done by Carpenter. On Kinghorn. Cooney-Cross.
I think it's fair to say if Australia were better in the final third this second half, they'd be leading by more than 1 goal.
But their passing has been pretty good. It's Rasso. Kinghorn. The plan has come together nicely today, Gustafsson. But he knows, however well they've played so far, Australia, that England have the quality to turn the game in any moment. Calmly backed by Hunt. But Arnold only as far as Stanway. Now James. And James, to curve that ball in and almost turn it to our own net by Hunt.
Well, England certainly creating a chance in their own transition. Good pick up from Stanway, and James looking for the run of Russo in behind. And that could have gone anywhere.
Huge sigh of relief for Claire Hunt. Stanway clips that corner in. Australia are able to get it away. No glimpse there for England. Looking to turn this game quickly. Fowler. Carpenter. Rasso. Better pressure from England. Here's Morgan. It's a late challenge from Gorry on Stanway, but they haven't really given those advanced England midfielders much space at all.
That's just been aggressive defending from Australia. Any backward pass, they look to squeeze the pitch. I think for England, if they do get beyond the midfield line and get on the back line, got to engage the back four more.
Here's Toon. It's forced to check back. Rachel Daly comes on here. Be interesting to see who comes off. With England needing a goal. Kelly drives and sends it in towards Russo. And Gorry there. Time to get a head up and try and release Kerr. Morgan. Australia look ready to strike on the counter. England find a way through them. Carter. Here's James. She saw the gap inside Carpenter. Toon quickly closed down by Hunt again.
Starting to get some link up between Toon and James down this left-hand side. You can see Carpenter not comfortable getting tight to Lauren James.
Not many can. Now Hunt just issue with her boot.
I think the only issue with that is every time James gets the ball, she's driving inside. So somebody else has to take the width for the team.
We saw that, didn't we, in the Brazil game? Maybe it's just an area England don't have that option to do that on the left-hand side.
Well, especially if you don't have an attacking left-back.
Here's Walsh. Williamson. Bronze was looking up. The ball straight in towards Russo. Here's Kelly, who's put in some excellent balls into the box so far. Carter with Rasso on her shoulder. And Carter, maybe a little fortunate there. Rasso chasing after that one.
But it's a great battle. It really is. England starting to intensify. They're up in their game.
Walsh. Gets it to Bronze. And faced by a real challenge here. Bronze nicely works, ball in, and Arnold has done nothing wrong so far. And a right smile, she's enjoying it out there.
She's been impeccable in everything she's done, but I do think Rachel Daly coming into this game is inevitable. The fact that there's more and more crosses coming into the box.
That's for sure. Daly waits. No foul there. Walsham with a challenge, and Stanway. So many times England have been called out there. It's Cooney cross. Saw the moment to try and nick the ball off Stanway. Walsh. And James. Carter. Toon. James is with her. Here is James. Lauren James. Arnold pushes it away. Bronze. Touch from Stanway, keeping it alive. That'll be a corner.
So much better from England, that link up. Carter, James and Toon on this left-hand side. Great running behind from Ella Toon. And finds Lauren James in that dangerous area. Forces Arnold into a save. Much, much better from England.
Well, Ella Toon makes way. Some fans don't like that, but there you go, popular player. And on comes another popular player, Rachel Daly, to add that aerial threat as well in the box, and a lot more.
Well, just as Toon was coming into the game. But I can understand why she's gone with two up front. It's an opportunity to see what it's like.
So England corner here, Australia with everybody back in the penalty area. There's Bronze. Couldn't hit the target.
Nice, a brilliant ball towards the penalty spot.
Well, Lucy Bronze, Barcelona, will face Chelsea in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Need no reminding, Emma. And there's a situation here, though, at the moment, where the rain has not stopped falling to the ground. And the players couldn't run off fast enough at half-time. But better from England in the second half.
I will say the game has been officiated really well by Natalie Simon. She's called everything really well so far.
Yes, and especially without the assistance of VAR, whether that helps referees or not, who knows. Challenging from Gorey. For Serena Wiegman, she's played her first card in terms of substitution. Too much attacking experience on the bench for England. Australia forced into a change when Yallop went off, but Vine, who's come on, has been direct and quick. Fitted into the system, absolutely fine. And they still lead in this game after an hour. Morgan finding James, who took it well. Tried to reverse it to Russo. Move still alive for England. Kelly! And no problem for Arnold.
England starting to find their forward line a lot better this second half. You can see that Daly has come on almost playing behind Alessia Russo.
She won't be hanging in that sort of position when England do get the ball wide, I would imagine.
I sort of feel like she's gone into exactly the same role as Ella Toon, into the 10 position, which is not really familiar to her.
And England losing the ball, picked up by Gorey. She's got options left and right, but went for the shot herself. And Earps can't stop it going behind for a corner. And Gorey scored a stunning goal recently against Jamaica for Australia from that sort of range.
I think she's had an excellent game, Gorey. And Australia showing what sort of team they are on the counter.
So much has gone right for Australia in this game. And they've made their own luck as well. Thumbs up from the manager. They're going to put pressure on Mary Earps. And a packed 6-yard box. So many shirts in there. Well, Australia playing in their Didn't quite get that corner right. England able to clear. Carter chasing after this, but so was Fowler. Nice turn from Fowler and Rasso. But Rachel Daly's quick in that sort of channel she was defending for England last summer.
Well, that's what Rachel Daly has brought to the crowd. Certainly a lift. Lovely feet from Mary Fowler. Evades the challenge from Carter, and
we know a game is tight and competitive when the managers make many changes, even at this stage of a friendly match.
But I am surprised Wiegman hasn't gone to a 4-4-2. I think the fact that she's put Daly into a midfield position is a little surprising.
So disagreed with that decision. Perceived shove on James. So England in a rare position under Sarina Wiegman, trailing. Now Daly up there with Russo. Walsh. So often England have lost the ball in those sort of areas. Australia have broken quickly and looked dangerous in doing so. Not quite on point, the pass from Kerr to Vine. If anything, they look more of a threat with Vine now on the pitch.
She's so quick, but that last part has been their downfall throughout the game. They've actually got into good areas time and time again, but the last pass hasn't quite been good enough.
To find James in that sort of position, but again, this is playing into Australia's hands, although Gorry can't get her pass right. Just feels at the moment the game is set up for Australia to get another goal.
I feel like England are waiting a little. I'm looking how they're building now, and everybody's facing the play. There's no opposite movements. There aren't the same stretching runs we've come to see from England in their play.
This is broken, promising, and Russo. And out it goes to James. Lauren James going on and running into trouble. Australia, the body's back quickly again. Carter. And Walsh. Bronze. Can't find Russo. Bronze. Kelly. Morgan. Carter now. Plenty of time left. We're going to turn this game around. There was an opening there. Morgan. Sarina Wiegman out of her seat and in the technical area, and trying to tell her players to pick up the pace, but at the moment it's Australia doing that. And here's Kerr, and Kerr sending it across, and the header was for air, and the goal is there. Grant arriving at the back post, and via a deflection, Australia in full charge, and the joy is clear to see. They lead against the European champions to the Matildas.
And no more than they deserve. They've had a few opportunities this second half. Again, brilliant counter-attacking play. This time, wonderful, wonderful pass down the side of Carter from Rasso. Great run from Kerr. Look at Grant at the back post. Gets herself into a great position. Yes, unfortunate deflection off of Williamson. Yeah, big deflection. But still, 2v2 in that central area. We've mentioned Wiegman shouting "wake up" to the players. England have just struggled throughout this game.
And Grant, the joy was clear because it's her first goal for Australia. And what opposition to get it against.
I'll say this, you want this game to happen before you go into a World Cup. You don't want this to be the sort of game England face in the knockout. And as disappointing as they've been, it will give them an opportunity, particularly this last quarter, to see how they react.
How they can respond. But this is an Australia who are fired up and flowing, and Vine, and through to Kerr. Looked offside, and the flag does go up, but Australia giving England the runaround, and they're loving it.
Oh, great link-up play. What a substitute Vine has been.
And they're facing a team, when you think about a lot of the opposition England have faced, they're facing a side here with pace on the break, who can counter pretty well, good defensive shape. Stanway, Polkinghorne does not put a foot wrong. Well, many of these Australian players have. That'll be a free kick.
Like you said, Polkinghorne been superb at the back, timed everything to perfection. And while I think Russo had a bright 45 minutes, I'm really surprised Wiegman didn't pair her with Daly once she took Toon off. Because it hasn't been an evening for England's midfield. The space hasn't been there.
Not only have England not lost under Sarina Wiegman, Sarina Wiegman has not lost many games as a manager, full stop. But, as Emma was saying, it is ultimately a friendly, and if it helps England to recover time for the World Cup, that's a good thing. Here's Russo, and may still get themselves back into this game. But Polkinghorne in the way once more, and that's a challenge from Stanway. And she's going to get a final warning here from the referee. If it wasn't a friendly, maybe not.
That's certainly frustration from Stanway. Great defending again. Listen, this is what we've come to expect from Stanway. Combative player, really improved. It was a number 8.
Yes, but up against today, Cooney, Cross and Gorry in that Australia midfield, who've been superb. And often they say you win that midfield.
They really have. Both of them really solid performances in and out of possession. And it has helped that Fowler and Kerr have sat a little lower, protecting them, making it difficult for Walsh to get on the ball.
There's another one of those challenges from Gorry that sort of didn't go. I think she was about to celebrate the challenge. Making it clear to the referee what she thinks. It's there again, Polkinghorne.
Oh, she's so tight to Russo. They know that Russo's hold-up play is so good.
The balance of this Australia side, between Polkinghorne and Hunt, the two centre-halves, 10 years between them. Cooney, Cross and Gorry, 10 years between them. Kerr and Fowler, 10 years between them.
Wow.
Experience and youth paired together, and at the moment working out very nicely.
Australia certainly found their formula going into the World Cup. They've certainly had mixed results the last year.
Yes, at the moment here, winning a 2-0 lead. Here's James. And James whipping a lovely ball in. That wasn't that far away from Daly. Here's Bronze. She sends a decent ball in. Surely this time, no! Headed wide by Daly. That's what they've been waiting for.
That's why you have two players high in those areas. Russo certainly quick to start that, for it to go down the left, and when it's come back out on the right, Daly, the spare player, she'll be so disappointed not to have buried that.
That was almost the moment. Give the crowd something to shout about. Kerr. Nice touch there from Kelly. A challenge coming in from behind from Hunt. Deemed a fair one as well, Fowler. Grasso. Carpenter. Everything about this lead for Australia is deserved. Not often England don't score either. Walkinghall. Vine. They're keeping the ball here and moving it well, and Vine almost putting that ball forward, and Williamson mopping up.
It's not even the lack of goals, it's the lack of chances they've created. I'm pretty certain Leah Williamson, Esme Morgan, been on the ball more than anybody else in the game.
Here's James, handball from Grant, and it was spotted in the end.
I wonder if Eagman will go to the bench again to look at other options.
England looking to get on with it, but again Polkinghorne, another challenger, taking the ball off Russo's toes. Absolute rock at the back.
It's been a great battle watching those two play.
Yes, indeed. Polkinghorne, most experienced players on the pitch, full stop. Watching a 56th cap tonight. Daly. For the moment, not England's night. But if they can just find one goal, things can turn quickly. They've been so strong late on in games. But not in the last few. Here's Morgan to Williamson. Walsh now, look for that ball forward towards James. Australia still focused, still resolute in defence. Williamson having to work hard to find any sort of space. Let's find its way through to Kelly. She has it now. Hunter, Walsh, Kelly shifts it, plays it forward, but he just felt Arnold was going to watch that all the way. And that will give me a chance to mention the football coming up on ITV. The FA Cup semi-final between Manchester City and Championship side Sheffield United on the 22nd of April, 4 p.m. for that one. And then following that match on the same day from La Liga, Real Madrid against Celta Vigo, 7:30 p.m. for that one, ITV4, ITVX. $14,500 in attendance tonight. Brentford GTEC Community Stadium. Premier League side in action, losing to Newcastle United just a couple of days ago. Similar number of people in tonight to watch the Lionesses, but at the moment, not much to shout about. Plenty if you're an Australian supporter. Carpenter. She tries to force her way through. Stanway to James. James turning out of trouble. Carter. Kelly. England have had more of the ball. They haven't had some glaring chances. I think the best chance was Daly. Lost by Morgan. And Vine finds Kerr and Fowler. And that was close.
No, she was miles offside. At least from my angle. Release needed to come quicker, but how many times we've seen these square ball pick-offs, and all because they can't get Keira Walsh onto the ball.
England haven't been able to solve the issues tonight as the game has worn on.
But they haven't had enough variety, doing much of the same thing in the second half. Not much has changed.
Carpenter. Brilliant ball, just cut out by Williamson, but England have had to defend like that in this second half. They've chased the game, but without actually posing Australia too many problems. And look for Kelly here, hopeful ball forward, giving possession straight to Australia. Here's Keira Walsh, who's found space hard to come by and hasn't been able to pick her passes tonight. Here's Bronze. And maybe England will have to turn to individual quality. But again, the link-up play not there. That's a loose pass. Here's Carter. What about Australia's fitness in this particular situation? Especially when you've got a 2-0 lead. Feel plenty of stamina.
It's going to be made to feel easy if Daly's picking the ball up that deep, supplying the passes. You want Daly inside the box.
When she was before, almost found a goal. Fowler. Of course, they've put so much energy into this game, Australia. Been at it from the first whistle. So just the one change. Why would you change too many things, how things have been going so far? For Tony Gustafsson. Walsh. She'll look for Daly. Won't reach her. Gory here. Look at that for a turn. Kukuni cross to open things up. Showing so much of what you want from a central midfielder in this game. Daly coming off there. And the link-up play finds Carpenter. And Carpenter with only Kerr up with her. Kerr. And still onto Fowler. And England just getting the tackle in there again. It was Bronze. If anything, England might think they're lucky to be only 2-0 down.
Yep, I think so. But as you've mentioned before, when you're chasing the game, you're going to take different risks. And England's problem has been turning over from the deepest spaces. We can't blame the deeper players because I don't think the movement in front of them has been good enough tonight. I think it's been too easy for Australia. Certainly haven't seen enough runs off of the back shoulders of the back four. Every time I look down, I see Australia's four defenders. They're always facing forward. And they're able to intercept on the front foot.
Fowler releasing Kerr.
Unlike Kerr, stretching in behind, pulling England apart.
Now they're keeping the ball, frustrating England and linking up with ease. Brasso, they're not used to being in this sort of position under Sarina Wiegman. In fact, they've never been in this position under Sarina Wiegman.
I think, as we said throughout, it just looks sluggish throughout. I don't know if the game against Brazil at Wembley took a lot out of the players, but it's uncharacteristic of England.
Yes, absolutely. I think Sarina Wiegman may turn to a bench again very shortly. There's Jess Park down there getting instructions. It might be for Jess Carter. That's a very attacking change. Here's James. Here's Russo. And Russo shot blocked. Again, Hunt and Polkinghorne in the way of everything tonight. And then when they have won it, they just break up the field with pace and purpose, but can't get it right that time. Lost Alana Kennedy for this meet-up. I was worried about maybe the experience in their defence, but that back four has been excellent. And there's Carpenter again. Here will come that change for England. And Carter off for Jess Park. At Everton this season on loan from Manchester City. And this will be interesting to see what England do with their shape here. There will be maybe even more holes at the back.
I'm surprised it's taken this long, to be honest, to give Australia a different problem.
Here is Park. It's Jess Park who's come on here.
And what Park will give you, both inside and outside of the pitch, is she will look to get on the ball.
Stanway sending it in. Fowler. Stanway. That's an England free kick. Just to confirm, it is Jess Park who has come on for England. And Jess Carter has made way.
I mean, we have seen Wiegman go to a back three various times, sometimes when England have needed a goal. But I'm surprised it's taken till 83 minutes to do that.
Well, the sour points from tonight for Australia, there haven't been many, let's be honest. But the injury to Yallop, and now Vine looks like she might have a bit of issue here. And looks like Claire Wheeler, the Everton player, is going to come on in the midfield area to shore things up. But Sam Kerr, well, before the game you would have thought, so many would have thought she'd be the standout player for Australia. They've had a few tonight, but she got the opener.
That's Route 1 stuff, what I expected. In fact, they've played more than I thought they would, but that direct ball in behind, you could just see there wasn't quite enough weight on the pass for Williamson to head it into Earps.
Fortunate night for the England captain, playing that ball straight to Sam Kerr, and also the second goal deflecting off Williamson. And now Vine having to make way. The substitute subbed for injury reasons. And Claire Wheeler on for Australia in that midfield. And that's going to be Arnold's all day long. And this is Australia's side who know so many of these England players, who've played against so many of these England players. A man in charge who's used to being part of a coaching group that's won things in the United States. He's got players in this Australia side who play in England and who play in Europe. And they were fired up to face the European champions. And so far they've put on a display here that looks like it's going to end England's unbeaten run.
Oh, absolutely. As I've mentioned before, I think this is uncharacteristic of England. Rarely do we see them looking so sluggish as a team, used to them creating so many chances.
And Kira Walsh completing passes, but not tonight. Cooney Cross winning a free kick as well. What an imperious performance from her.
The whole team performance really has, but what they've done in midfield, I think, has been the difference.
21 years of age, and only just turned 21 as well. Mary Earps hasn't actually had too many saves to make in this game, but there's been a lot of threat on the England goal. Ngori on a diagonal, but there's offside flag up, and Earps now looking to get on with it. Williamson. That second goal for Australia really gave England a mountain to climb, and it's a bit too steep for them at the moment. There isn't much time left. There's Morgan. Williamson. James. Bronze into Park, couldn't quite get that under control. That presents an opportunity for Australia again. Here's England with its attacking shape now, and out it goes to Kelly. Australia still looking organised. There was a late challenge going in there. Referee playing advantage, and Kelly back to her feet. And here's Park on the move, and Carpenter won't quite get there. Chance for Russo, but just gave enough of a sniff for Hunt to block again.
I think the combination of that shape change and Park coming into the game has been a difference. I wanted to see Park a lot sooner. I think she's had a stellar season.
Well, Rasso has booked for that late challenge on Kelly. The late corner here in the 90th minute for England. If they can score this, maybe can make Australia nervous. And look at that, the bodies, too many bodies back, and then Carpenter getting it out of play, calling for focus. See them over the line here. Kelly, Owen Arnold stretching, still not clear. And the ball wouldn't run for England there, will be a corner.
Probably the best part of the second half for England. Deep cross from Chloe Kelly, dealt with by Arnold and kept alive by Lauren James.
Well, just 4 minutes left to play. And Stanway with this corner. And that's going to be a goal kick, the effort from Russo. I mean, there's been so many stand-up performances in the Australia side. Who's particularly caught your eye tonight?
I've really enjoyed the young performance from Cooney Cross, but I think Polkinghorne has been exceptional for her team. And I have to say Sam Kerr as well.
And Arnold has been booked for time wasting. I mean, not that much time left.
But she's been doing it the whole second half. You could hear the crowd getting on her.
Eased off it by Williamson. Here's Kelly. This is promising here for Kelly. And she was caught there. She took the shot, but had got the shot away.
Probably the first time Kelly's been able to escape pressure on the inside. Just waiting for the right moment. Looks like a foul to me. Ugari, I'm surprised that wasn't brought back.
Kelly didn't complain too much, especially the stakes of the game at the moment to added time. But for Sarina Wiegman, a rare low point in what's been quite the run. In Australia, another player down again. Sam Kerr. And hope she's going to be okay. Emma keeping a close eye on Sam Kerr there.
She's fine.
She's put in a fine performance, as per usual. 2 minutes left to play. Kelly. Kelly has put in some decent deliveries. Stanway! Oh, not to be. No chance of Arnold keeping that out of him, been on target.
Oh, this last 10 minutes since the shape change, England have really come alive. Creating chances, look lively to first and second ball moments. And Stanway doing what we've seen so many times from her in and around the penalty box.
Well, it's quite a weird feeling watching England under Sarina Wiegman to think that they're going to lose this game. And Australia lose Sam Kerr for the final minutes. She's played her part in what's been a terrific Australian display. And Rasso also coming off as well, who's caused England a fair few problems. And another of those who's playing in the WSL at the moment, Courtney Nevin, at Leicester City on loan from Hammarby in Sweden. And the fullback coming on. And Alex Chidiac, who has made an impression off the bench when called upon. Here's Kelly, free kick. So England may end this game in defeat, but they will have one last opportunity here to get themselves on the score sheet at the very least.
Well, they're ending the game as we've come to know and expect this team to do, but it feels a little too late.
She knows it. For so long now, they've been so good, this England side. We've been almost asking for a test, and they've had one tonight. Stanway, can she give the England fans in the stadium tonight something to make some noise about right at the end? Stanway, and straight at Arnold, and she was never going to spill that to an England player.
Arnold got behind it well. Greasy ball. It's been raining all night.
But that rain has not affected this Australian side. Well, the unbeaten run ends at 30, and wouldn't it just be Australia to end that run? A fine performance from the Matildas to beat this England side. The goals coming in each half, one from Sam Kerr capitalising on a mistake from Leah Williamson, and in the second half a first Australia goal for Charlotte Grant, and look at the delight again for her. Delight for Australia. Comfortable winners, in all honesty, over an England side who aren't used to losing under Sarina Wiegman. In fact, losing for the first time under Sarina Wiegman by 2-0.